out to Pommy and Alls. How we're all doing? I hope we're all doing really well. And we're back again with another video. Double Upload Monday. That should be a moniker, isn't it? Trying to get you through, statistically, the worst day of the week. I always think Wednesday is the worst day, or Thursday. It's kind of a nothing day, but that is few and far between. If you are new around here, hit the like button, hit the subscribe. If you're returning Pommy and Ozza, you're right. How you doing? And note of difference, we are running a tipping league, $50 entry. Contact me if you're keen on that. Prizes for first, second and third. That is a cash prize. More money, more money. And if you want to enter the members draw for a sports Guernsey of your choice, that will be on the 4th of March. You've got to be a member by the 4th of March. Link is in the description to do that. Hope to see you on that members live stream. And we're doing North Melbourne today, which is quite exciting, isn't it? So let's get straight into it. And we've gone with the back line here. We've gone Court, Mackay and McDonald. And I really like this as a back line. I think, knowing Clarkson, and he likes his defenders to defend, but also a little bit of transitional threat, which you have to have in the modern game. I think you've got everything here. I think McDonald is a terrific user. I think Ben is an incredible one-on-one defender and can intercept himself. And I think Aidan Cole, coming off that pocket there, I like that. I think they've got something there. And I think that isn't as bad. I don't think North Melbourne are as bad as people think they are. I am buying into the Clarko hype. He knows how to structure a side. And that is part of North's difficulties. You saw North last year. They didn't lack for endeavour, especially against that Collingwood game. They had the endeavour. Even though they lost it, they had the endeavour. It's about just structuring up and finding that. And that's something that Clarkson's incredibly good at. And I think he's got some really key personnel to, usurp some teams. But I like that full-back line. I think that is as solid as they come. Moving on to the half-back line, you've got Jack Zeeble, Aaron Hall, and Griffin Logan. I love the Griffin Logan deal. And you saw Griffin Logan talked about by Clarko in a Gibson-type role, which I thought was interesting at first, but you can kind of understand it. You can kind of understand where he's going with that, because he does like his halfbacks to take off. And I thought Griffin was incredible for Freo. I really enjoyed what he did. He was linked with a lot of Victorian clubs as well, and I'm surprised it seemed North were the only ones into him. I don't know if that was true or not, but I like that. Zeeble and Hall just offering that reliability. Zeeble really structures up well. He's a great competitor and a nailbad user. And Aaron Hall, that transitional threat we're talking about, there he is. And I'm a big fan of Aaron Hall, and I think it'll be interesting to see how that progresses. Moving on to the centre line, we've gone Bailey Scott and Liam Shields on the wing. Liam Shields, a hawker, coming in for Clarkson's, would you say rebuild, legacy? I don't know what you'd call this. Regeneration, maybe? Without a shadow of a doubt on Clarko, though, if he wins a flag with North in the next 3 years, end the GOAT conversation. But Shields, I like it. I think it's a standard starter. It's not a long-term thing, but you saw the success that Isaac Smith had at Geelong. Do you know what I mean? You can't beat experience. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's a huge thing for them, because they are a youthful side. Bailey Scott, he's another guy that has really improved over the years. Do you know what I mean? Over the last couple of years, and a real formidable competitor. And talking about improvement, Davis Unanaki, what a footballer he is. He's a guy that probably 2 years ago people were saying was in the Dow category of disappointments. Last year he'd really shone, and he's started to become a footballer in his own right. And I'd imagine with Clarko guiding him, I think the sky is the limit for this kid. I think he's really one to watch in his development. And I think he's got another 3 or 4 rungs on the ladder to go. A really terrific footballer, and one that I'm excited to see what Clarko does with him. Half forward line, Shizu, Comden and Simkin. I'm a big fan of Shizu, and he's by all reports tearing up the pre-season, and I'm a big fan. This kid can play football. This kid can. And I think they'll look back at the Jason Holden-Francis loss and see what this kid can do. See what Wardlaw can do when he's right. And they won't look back. Shizu is a terrific footballer. I would be surprised to see him pinch it as well around stoppages on the ball, and you'll see some terrific football. But this kid here, him entering inside 50 is going to be a delight. Jai Simkin on the other side, we know he'll rotate heavily in the midfield as well. I've started him on the half forward, though. I think his penetration on his kick inside 50 will give them a fighting chance. And Compton, I'm a big fan of. Do you know what I mean? A big boy, big fan of. The forward line, no stranger to this show. Paul Curtis, I'm a big fan. I was a huge fan in his draft year a couple of years ago. I mentioned him as late picks and Hope Carlton picked him up. This kid evidently is tearing up pre-season again. Real standout, X Factor. He's got a personality as well when you see him. And he plays like that as well. Real top quality footballer. And this forward line I think is exciting when you add Cam Zurha on the other side. Another player that I think he's going to go strength to strength under Clarko. And big Nick Larkey, if you're a Carlton fan, look away now. This kid can play football. But that forward line there has so much growth. And he's such a solid forward line as well. Solid foundations. And one, I think, will surprise teams. Because if that comes in enough, that's got goals galore. All 6 of them players there know where the big sticks are. The followers then, Goldie, Cunnington and Phillips. Goldstein, staple of North Melbourne. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do. You'd imagine Zeri's going to be ready soon, there or thereabouts. And you'd imagine this year they're going to have to start rotating Zeri in. The last thing North want to do is suddenly lose Goldie. But he does feel like he can go on forever, doesn't he? And it's going to be a shame. Cunnington, great to have him back. Great story that he's back. Thank God he's well. Terrific footballer. And he'll be straight away cornerstone of this side. Love Ben Cunnington and wish him all the best in 2023. Can't wait to see him out there. Heartbreaking what he's been through. But he's back. And I expect big things of him. He's going to love working with Clarko. Love, pulling the strings. We know Clarko likes them lieutenants on the field. Him and Zebo are going to be them lieutenants on the field, really driving the message. And Phillips has been really impressive, and I'm a big fan of what Phillips does. Solid little developer as well. And he's really becoming that little rover extraordinaire, isn't he? The bench then, we've gone with Hugh Greenwood, Josh Goater, Bonner, and Stevenson. Now, this might surprise someone, because Stevenson might not be in everyone's best 22. I just think that he's got a coach now who, I think when Clarko has faith in you, I think that'll do it. And I think Jado probably suffers from that faith issue. I really do think he is. I think now Clarko's there, he's going to put him around his wing, and we're going to see the best of Jaden Stevenson. And that is my big call for 2023. I think you're really going to see it. And I'm excited about it because this guy is a very good footballer. Aidan Bonner, I think, is a perfect Clarko player. Very versatile, can play numerous positions. Very hard at it. Good, strong player as well. Goater impressed me last year and probably stiff not to be in the starting 18. But again, very versatile, very, very strong. Good development. And Hugh Greenwood, probably, I think, very underrated for what he does. And he's a player that I really enjoy watching. I thought it was a great deal to get him across. And I think he's going to really fly this year. I really do. I think that they'll really enjoy having him around the team and really enjoy what he can bring. Real good around stoppages. A bit of a clearance expert in recent years as well. Do you know what I mean? So he's someone that I'm really looking forward to seeing what Clarko can bring out of him. And then we go to the ones to watch. Got a couple of father-sons here, Archer and Harvey. Harvey is very understated and really fallen in the trap, I think, of, that type of, he's a father-son, he's not that good. This kid is really good in his own rights and real developed late in the draft as well. You saw it in the Vic Country Metro game, what he's about. He's a real solid footballer, and I don't think he's far away from playing AFL football. I would be surprised to have not seen him by the by. And I think he's something for you guys to get excited about. Cooper's a really solid. Jackson, on the other hand, again, came with a little bit of a plum, but this kid can play football. And look at him, because I think probably about round 16, 17, I reckon Clarkson will have a mind on next year. And for them getting an early pick isn't much of a loss. So I think, I'm not saying they'll tank, but I think that they will heavily rotate and you'll start to see these kids. And I think Archer is good enough to play AFL footy in his own right. George Wardlaw, spent most of the time injured last year. This kid is incredible, though. And far better than Jason Horne-Francis on the ball. Far better. I've said it. We know this podcast isn't a fan of Jason Horne-Francis. Wardlaw is better. And we'll finish with Blake Drury. This is a guy that I'm really excited about. Now, when I did my interviews, a lot of people talked about Jackson Binns. The other guy mentioned a lot was Blake Drury, for how incredible he'd rose, his training ethic, his regime, and his ability to learn, and his consistent output. Now, I think Blake Drury has got a huge opportunity at North, and someone that suits everything that Clarko is about. So Blake Drury is someone that I want you all to keep an eye on, and someone that I think will fly. And I think he will cement his place in the 22 by the end of the year. There's two big North calls, but that is the ruse. Let me know what you think. If you are a North Melbourne fan, let me know. Check out the Centre Bands, a good mate of mine. He is a North Melbourne fan, so check out his content. It's pretty good, especially if you like your super coach and your fantasy sports. Till next time, though, I'll see you Wednesday. Pom out.